It's not even cold. Like they promised me it would be cold
It was cold for 3 days.
for
It's
three
Texas.
days.
It's Texas, you know.
Then you look at the app and it'd be like it's gonna get down to like 54, and I'm like, where?
It is 54 at 4:30 in the morning, and
Yeah,
then that sun hit, warm
and
it
it's
right up,
right back up to 70. It's shorts weather.
warm it
It
right
feels
back up.
it
So
feels
yeah,
good.
man. Look, I'm just hoping we have a decent winter. I like the cold weather.
I like the cold weather too. I hope we do have a decent winter. We will.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? Last week we were sitting there talking about, of course, our regular subject, Arby's,
Yeah.
uh, and who was that? Corey Terry sent us posted. Arby's is buying a whole lot of stuff. I don't know.
Eddie
They
Johnson.
restructured everything. They
Yeah.
restructured their stuff from. They used to be owned by Wendy's. I was actually researching them. I'm still of the mind that they are selling something other than roast beef sandwiches, but apparently Arby's is out here making a serious amount of money because they're buying up like everything. So shouts out to Arby's, and I only know people that go there, but apparently y'all got fans out there. So
I'm saying.
I still don't know who
I
y'all.
read the article. The article says like the owner of Arby's. So I was like, oh, the parent company of
Yeah, it's Fire
Arby's.
Foods.
It's not, but I'm like, it's not. It's not Arby's.
Well, look, the money coming from somewhere.
The money's coming from somewhere. It's coming from other places. You got to have multiple streams of income. Just like our guests with multiple streams of income and multiple disciplines in art. But we'll get to that because black and ugly as ever, I stay Houston down to my socks. It's your boy, Avery, like a very nice guy. Ding, they never add the post production thing. I don't get the ding anymore, but it'll come back one day.
I'm not
And I'm
skilled.
here. What's that?
I'm not skilled. Go ahead.
I know you're not. And I'm here with my co-host, my brother, Jess Devon.
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Just I have the high energy and I'm hey, and then the
But
nigga
that's
just
why
steps
that's why
on.
my name says it. Like I'm just Devon. Like
Yeah,
that's just pretty much what it is.
yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
me.
That's all it is.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
All right. What we just did with our podcast right here, what we're doing, all of this is art. Okay. There's multiple
I
types of art. All right. Our guest today does multiple types of art as well. Okay. Robert Hodge, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Hodge. I can't tell you about him more than he can tell you about himself. He also has a vinyl in stores right now. I'm sorry, it escapes me. What's the name of the vinyl again?
it's called Friendly Fire.
Friendly
Friendly Fire.
Fire. I did like that
Yeah.
title, and the reason being why you named it that. But we will get to that once again. Robert Hodge, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Yes. You're alive. You're still
I like
here.
the hat. I like the hat.
My Joe Budden hat, as you call it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you know.
Protects the sun. It gathers water for me. I can pour it onto a cup. You know, a lot, man.
Yo, straight
Yeah.
straight natural water, like from the.
Extra water. Just let it sit there. Let it, marinate.
I'm hating because I want to wear one. I'm like, man.
I think, look, I got you, bro.
I'm about to say he can
got
tell you this
tons.
guy. You're gonna get in the
You know
hats
what? I
now.
need to know
The
the
hat
guy.
guy. Yeah.
Between you and Jack Freeman, I'm gonna have a bunch of hats.
Jack is sponsored. Actually, Jack should give you a hat because Jack get free hats. I gotta pay.
Oh, I
him.
know. And I looked at the
yeah,
prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoo.
I'm to my receipts. I'm like, yo, can I get a what's up? Can I get a deal, bro? I'm breaking bread with y'all, man. What's up?
Jack will be like, I'm gonna handle that. Let me call you back.
Now, Hodge, well, we're gonna get to the album because
Right.
you just recently put out an album, but you're an artist by trade, and like we were saying, multidiscipline. You express your art through a lot of different forms. So I
Yeah.
mean, we're gonna go back all the way to the beginning. Let's talk about you are from Houston, Third Ward,
Third ward all day,
Uh,
sir.
and you knew at an early age like you wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
So
Any-
tell like how early are we talking here?
Kindergarten, bro. I'm not listening to nothing the teacher's saying. I'm drawing the whole time. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm just making my drawings, man. I don't know how I got through school. All I did was draw. but I made it.
Really?
And
Yeah.
it's just,
I knew that early. For real, I'm like, I'm gonna be an artist. It was just, I don't know, man. That's the gift and the curse. It happened really early, but it's a long journey.
it is a long journey because we're like it takes time to break out and build a resume. And you have a long resume, but it's like you follow it back. Like even your curriculum vitae on the website, it's like you
hey man, hold up, bro, telling a black family that you're gonna be an artist from Third Ward.
God.
Ordeal already, bro. Forget all that. I mean, just telling them and them taking you seriously. And that was the hardest part. Like convincing my family that I was an artist and I was gonna do this for my life.
That was the next question. Because it's cool being an artist in kindergarten. They're like, oh, that's cute.
Exactly.
But as you come up, they're like, oh, you know, like middle school, they're like, oh, he's still, I mean, the art thing is cool. And then high school, they're like, all right, so you about to get serious?
I went to high school too, so I thought they would know I did. But they still didn't. They thought I was joking.
Believe.
I went to art college and I said, did you know I was going to be a fucking doctor, man? Like, what's going on here? Why are you surprised? But
so at what point did they say, all right, we get it, you're an artist?
It took my dad right before he died. He had to see a full-blown exhibition. I could tell that his eyes, I could just tell it finally connected what I was doing. But that was a long time. That's like, what, 2023?
You know,
a long time. But, I mean, it is in theory of me doing it my whole life. For somebody to finally accept it, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Especially when it's like, you know, parents, sometimes they just got to see it. Like, they're like, okay, I know you're doing art and I know you're supporting yourself, but I still don't know what this is.
Yeah, that's what's the main thing is they don't know what it is. And they don't know the breakdown of the industry. They just think, you know, all my dad knew was like sign painters at the barbershop. So he just thought I'm supporting myself and my family. Like he didn't understand museums and galleries and stuff, you know, that was his forte. So that was a big beef. He just wanted me to be able to be self-sufficient, you know.
Of course. Your parents want the best for you.
The exhibit that you took him to. What was the exhibit that you're showing him where he realized it?
I had a show in the Heights called Turn Off the Radio. And it was inspired by Dead Prez.
Yep, I thought it was Dead Prez.
And one actually showed up he came to the exhibition, so it was dope.
Really? Probably Stickman.
Yeah, no, I wish Stickman would have came, but it was M1.
Okay.
M1 was living out here at the time. He was like living out in Pearland for like 2 or 3 years. He was dating here in Houston.
Really?
Yeah, he came out and we chopped it up. And my dad came in night with my brother-in-law. He brought him. And I could just tell, man, you know, my dad was like about to lay it down, man. He was in that last stage and he hit his cane and he was like, okay, I get it now. I get it.
How'd that make you feel?
I could just tell. It was like one of those Tyler Perry movies. He was kind of gave me that look, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The music played.
Yeah, exactly.
How did that make you feel, though, Robert?
I didn't give a shit at that time.
You're being 100, man.
You're like, hey, man, you gonna like this or you're not.
It would have been better as a kid. It was great, but at that time, hey, I was already in my groove, man.
Yeah.
I was too deep in the ocean. I had to go in and go back, and I wasn't going back. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
Now, what year was that exhibit?
I would say 2007.
That's 2007. So we're talking about as early as 2007. Your art is always, I mean, it has a lot of connections, even up into this last release with music.
Yeah.
Not to say that music is not an art, but it's like, it's heavily, you have this visual aspect as well as you have this audio aspect. Mm-hmm. So has that always been important to you? And why do you tie these two things in?
Man, because I'm a fire ass rapper too, man. And no, joking, but seriously, no, I kept separating my practices because I didn't know how to put them together. So I would make music heavily or make art, and then something would fall off. And then I saw this record that I think Sun Ra made with this visual artist. Well, I can't remember right now, but it kind of got me on the path of saying, man, I can merge this practice together and do them as one. And so I don't know why it took so long to get to that point, but once I did, it kind of changed everything, you know. So everything now is like a big melting pot of film, music, art. It's kind of all parallel, but at that time it was like, you know, people didn't really understand what a multimedia artist did. I mean, you would say those things, but people were very confused if you made anything outside of making paintings and drawings. They were like, "What are you doing?" And so, as technology and we grow in time, people kind of get it now. But at that time, that was like, "Man, you're doing too much," you know. So
I mean, yeah, because I mean, we're talking about, I would say probably before 2010. I mean, just even in music, I've heard in almost every art form, it was kind of like, look, you do this. Like, you're a
And that's
movie
it.
star, you're just
Yeah,
doing movies. You sing,
yeah,
you just sing. You rap, you just rap.
Right.
yeah.
And like, I was like, because it was a big deal if a rapper sang anything. You like, dog, why are you doing that? Why
Exactly.
didn't you just go hire a
Make the
singer?
movie. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a big thing to break. So you're saying that was the same thing kind of happening in that art world as well.
Yeah, yeah. We tend to look at the world through our context, like right now, as it is in the past. And like I said, it was different. Technology was different. It's no social media. And you said everybody wants to be very one-dimensional. So if you're doing multiple things, I just think, either, like I say, either you're doing too much, you're confused, or you should be glad that you got one thing you're good at and just stick to that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Now you also you went to school in Atlanta,
I
and
did.
you also in New York too, right?
To Pratt in New York for a little bit, for one semester.
I mean, you're getting the experience out there. What is always bringing you back to? You've been New York, you've been Atlanta, you've been to these other cities.
Yeah.
What is it so? What is it about Houston, like your hometown?
Houston is like one of those hidden gems. It's like a place you come to an accident. Like if you live in New York, you got 2 weeks off. You're not saying, "Hey, baby, let's go to Houston for 2 weeks."
Yeah.
Like you come down here on business, and you realize how dope it is.
Yeah.
And all my friends are so talented, man, but they all kept leaving. So I'm like, man, if I leave too, I mean, who's gonna make the sacrifice to make the city dope? Dope people gotta stay here. And we gotta kind of build it. I mean, and it's tough because I'm watching my friends in LA, and they seem like they're doing really great. I'm not sure, but I know that I can get out there too. But Houston has to develop, man. We're the 4th largest city, but all our artists were so under the radar, and now it's getting to the point where it's not anymore. But a lot of people start staying and start coming back home. It's just like gentrification. It's like realizing, back in the day, you went to school, you went to college, you left your neighborhood. That was the thing. That was the idea of success. Now it's, no, man, I'm living in my neighborhood, bro. Like, I live here. You can see me. You can touch me. I'm not impaired. And no knocking that. It's all good. But, I like to be amongst the people and just try to, I'm not going to lie. It was very difficult at some points. But I'm really glad I stayed.
Yeah. Talk about some of those difficult, I mean, because look, we give respect to, and we like to, our focus is on Houston artists, Houston entertainers, Houston business, and it does feel from talking to a lot of people that things are turning a corner.
Absolutely.
But it was a long time to get stuff to turn the corner, and try to get people to come out. So it's a lot to get people to come out to these listening parties. It's a lot to get people to come out to these art shows.
Yeah.
That dinner you and I were at the other day, I don't know if they would have had these things 10, 15 years ago here.
Yeah.
And now you see it, and it's like where this world is developing. So now it's like, talk about those times as you're watching the development occur.
You start to question you're like, why am I here? You start to question your loyalty.
Yeah.
You feel like you're giving your loyalty to a city that's not giving it back. And it's not like we're not making quality work. We make it work that's competing with anybody in the country. But, at a certain point, Houston had a low self-esteem problem.
Yes.
We were so big on New York, and like, it was from here, it wasn't good enough. And sometimes it comes along with a small town mentality, man. But it's not a small town, but at moments it feels that way. But only way you can really appreciate Houston is if you leave. Because when you leave and come back, you realize how dope it is. But when you hear it, it feels so mediocre. But it's not. It's not, man. We got the best food, the best women, the best almost everything. Athletes are moving to Houston and living here now. That's not by accident,
No.
I think you see that. You'll see everybody, like you'll say, you got the best, all this stuff, and it costs less. Like,
man.
You look at these other cities, and I'm like, nah.
No way. No way as an artist. Like, that's
for us to be the 3rd largest market, it costs so much less.
Man, so much less.
Else.
Oh, yeah.
We got on top of each other. I just started seeing that in New York, man. The weather. It's not, I love New York, man. I want to deal with that, man. I want to go in there and make some money, handle my business, and come back.
Absolutely.
And I like to drive. I like to smoke in my car. Like, there's certain things I do here that's part of my tradition. And like riding the subway is not one of them, man.
No.
Yeah.
Nice place to visit.
Nice place to
not
visit.
A nice place to live.
Business, but man, Houston is a shit, man.
Now the other thing too is, I mean, you were talking about when your family came to the realization, like, it's like, oh, okay, my son's a real artist. Now, you were out here, and I'm pretty sure it came to you earlier. You're grinding, trying to get this stuff off. When were you like, oh, I can do this now? Like, what was the moment where you're like, all right, I know this is tough, but this is doable. I can do this. I can be in Houston. I can be a legitimate artist. I can support myself.
I think you have to realize that before any success or money comes. You have to say to yourself, am I going to ride or die for this? Because, you know, life is short, man, and we're in COVID now. People are dying left and right. But before that, man, I just knew that life was short. So I didn't want, you know, I read this book like what's called A Purpose-Driven Life when I was really young. And so I just knew it's a path, man. And so, yeah, 23. Once I left school and decided, hey, man, I got a choice, man. I'm going to work, or, you know, we always got to work, but am I going to put in the extra grind to get to that freedom I want to get to? And so everybody makes it different depending on if you got kids early or your life circumstances. But I was able to have a time period of developing my craft and just thinking about that. And not thinking about I wasn't married, I didn't have any kids. So I was in the pure form of making art and trying to be the best artist I could. And so I really think that part of my development was really important, that it happened young. So now, you know, I am married. I have a child. I can, you know, my life is built around my practice. So I don't have to, like, you know, scramble. It's already kind of, the foundation is built. And so, so you answer your question around 23 when I had that show.
Yeah.
I made a point like, yo, I'm riding and dying with this, man. Like, I'm going to push it all the way.
And then even with that, like, what's your I mean, since you have, like you said, you're multidisciplinary, you're multimedia artist, what's your process? Like, how are you deciding? I remember I recently looking at your old stuff, like the installation where you had all the Post-it notes. And you did something like that. It's so creative, and it's like, how do you decide, or how does it come to you? Like, what's the process where you're like, oh, this is going to be focused on music, and this is going to be this, and I picture this. Like, what is that process when you're creating art?
It's really organic, man. Like, that happened because COVID happened. So I had a whole different idea, but, you know, I couldn't do it anymore. You know, people wasn't reaching back. People were really worried about their personal space and safety and this, you know, all that kind of things. It's just understandable. So I don't know how it came to me, but I had the idea of, like, man, Post-it notes would be dope because, you know, people can send notes to their loved ones, whether you're in the front line, a doctor, nurse, somebody got sick, and then people could just send these notes in and we would transcribe them, but people could drive by, and their location was right off Main Street by the train, so you can ride by and see the mural. Yeah. Then when you had to interact with anybody. So, man, really art is about, like, looking at the moment where you are and making those adjustments when you need to. And so I do paintings and drawings and stuff until I get burnt out. And then I get a bug for music. Then I work on the music project. And then I think I just been, like, organically switching back and forth. You know, it all depends on the mood. So one week I may make nothing but music. The next week might be nothing but art. So it's really no, like, tight schedule. I just, like, go as I feel. Okay. But they both so integral in what I do. So it's not like I'm cheating a practice anymore. Like, I'm just making music this week. Next week is art. You know, it's not a problem anymore. But I used to couldn't balance it. So, you know, it didn't feel right. It felt like off balance, you know. So now the garden is being equally watered now. So it's all good.
True freedom.
Yeah.
Now, how did COVID? I mean, we're talking about COVID because we're in these times now. You know, we've talked to other artists where we're saying it just kind of depends. We got some artists that were like, oh, I was holed up and I just started making stuff. And we had other artists that were like, duh, I couldn't come up with anything for like 6 months.
I make work under pressure. I mean, but, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm Black and I'm always making work under pressure. So, you know, one of my favorite artists said, inspiration is for amateurs. And so I go every day, bro. Like, even when I don't feel like the shit, I know it's going to come to something. But I get it, though, man. I tell artists, fairly young ones, it's okay not to do nothing in this time, man. It's okay to take care of your mental health, pay your bills, take care of your family, and just get through this shit, man. Because nobody's experienced a pandemic before. I mean, these things come like every 100 years. So, you know, I put no pressure to say you have to make stuff, but, you know, I provide for my family with this. So I just think about it differently, you know. When I'm making the art, it's the pure side of my brain. It's all about aesthetics and conceptual ideas and composition. And then as soon as the painting is done, it goes straight to business mode. It's like, how does it get out in the world? How do I brand this? What shows to go to? I don't longer just make a lot of stuff for myself anymore. It's like it goes out, it goes somewhere in the world. And so that can be unhealthy sometimes, but I try to keep that balance too, man, and just, go at a good pace. But yeah, people are, this little girl wakes up every day, is like, yo, I'm hungry. So, I mean, yeah.
And what's her? I mean, you have a dad that's an artist, because I mean that's one of those things too, where it's like, what your kids? I mean, how do they view you on that? It's not like,
she's so tired, bro. She's a way better artist than me. I'm not putting any pressure on her. I'm letting her be whatever she want to be. But I found some drawings at 8 years old, and I saw hers, and I'm trash compared to her. Like she's
she's already got it, huh?
This girl's so. I'm very critical, even on my own kid. It's like almost like a little genius, man. Like I be waiting to hate on it, but it's so good. I want to just ball it up, but it's never. It's
terrible. How old is she?
She's 8 years old.
8? Oh my goodness.
But she's doing graphics, she's doing video, she's editing, she's doing fashion, she's playing the guitar. I don't know what she's gonna be, but I'm just like experimenting on letting her, be in her path and fully supporting that path.
That's good.
She ain't got you shook or nothing. Like you ain't finished the work and then looked at her stuff and been like, I gotta redo mine.
Oh yeah, I'm jacking her all day. People like, let me borrow that. I'm gonna use that. No, sorry, that's what they for, man. Sorry, yeah.
She's your inspiration.
But I paid for those eggs.
Let's talk about the new project. So this project, and this is something that, I mean, we're not saying this is relatively recent. You created this in like what, 2017?
Yeah, 2017, a little bit of 2018. Yeah.
Okay, and so the vision then was it just going to be a audio piece? Was it going to be visual, or did you always have this finished product in mind?
I always want to make an album. I just didn't know how to do it. I mean, I did one before, but I spent a whole lot of money on it. And so, like, making an album and like, starting a label is it's a different process, man. You gotta be willing to start from the bottom and work your way up. And while you're working your way up, when people know you inexperienced, they're gonna take advantage of you. They're gonna overcharge you. All these things that happen when you start a new practice. So I had to learn how to make an album, and then learn how to work with producers and managers, learn how to get my vinyl printed, learn how to package my things all right. It just took time, and I didn't have any help. So that's what it really took so long. I was paying for things out of pocket at one point. And the museum, they helped fabricate the record for me. But yeah, man, I was basically learning a new craft. And so I wanted to make sure it was right. I didn't want to rush it because nobody knew what was coming out but me. So I was really just putting pressure on myself.
Okay.
Maybe my wife a little bit. She was like, yo, you making all this dope music, this amazing videos. How come your shit never come out? And I had to say, yo, it takes time. It's a process. When Spike makes a movie, you see that trailer, that's 3 years of work, So yeah, I think people like when you marry to a creative, you can just see the process that the world don't see. So it looks like you're just doing a lot of shit and like, what are you doing this for? So it was good for her to see like a process and then see it come to life and see like how long it takes, especially if you want quality. And I wanted something that was like, quality.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, let's in your words, and this is, I'm sorry, before we even get to that, this is kind of like I'm not going to say a joint effort. You're doing this also working with the museum, correct?
Yeah.
And then, so tell us about that partnership that you have going on.
So the partnership, I realized that, we made these amazing visual shows that people, they come to and they absorb it, but then it fades from memory. It's kind of like, you remember the show, but it gets fuzzy. So the album is like that reminder, it's like the connector to the exhibition that kind of recharges that senses of your visual. So the audio is just like that, give you that full 360. So, they named the show Friendly Fire, and I immediately went to the military term of, what that term Friendly Fire means, but I applied it to, police and civilians, and more specifically how, cops do black people, the black bodies, It's like no patience for us, You pull us over, it's immediately gunfire. And I watch these other videos of they talking people down, they getting tasered, it's a lot of things happen before they get shot. And so, I kind of want to build around that. And that was a hot topic in 2016, 17. And so I wasn't sure that I
was hot topic now too. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as it came out, it's like I made the album 2 weeks ago. It's so relevant, man. It's almost infuriating, man. I'm kind of pissed that this shit never changed, man. I'm having the same talks with my daughter, I'm extremely exhausted being black sometimes here, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my other goal is like to get the hell out, bro. Like I love America, but I went to Kenya one year, man, and only reason I came back from Kenya is I wanted to marry my wife. If I didn't know her, I would have never came back to America.
Really, really.
You know, man, Africa is the missing component to African Americans. Like if we can connect and really understand each other and not listen to stereotypes and all this fear that's built around each other,
Yeah.
it's a global takeover. As simple as that.
Well, for the listeners too, I mean, and that's one of the things too, where you're saying like, don't listen to, I mean, for lack of a better word, I just call it propaganda because we don't get a real clear picture on what, unless you know somebody like that's coming from Nigeria or
Yeah,
Kenya,
bro, you don't know what you got off that plane until you smell that air.
yeah,
And you this food that smells like your grandmother's kitchen, but it's not your grandmother's kitchen.
yeah,
And then you start seeing people that like your family members and your neighbors, but they African. You're like, yo, they're like my cousin Kevin. And it's all that shit, man. The black mannequins, the way they move, man. You understand why we late all the time. Like it's natural things that happen there. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just in the wrong place.
yeah.
Like, be me here. And then the excuse of you can take the blackness out of the equation. This is about how talented you are. I never had to worry about am I not getting this opportunity because I'm black. I mean, that just didn't happen there. It's like if you was dope, they was rocking with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a show out there, man. I sold all my work. So I said, okay, I can sustain myself out here. I mean, I love the food and the culture. I mean, the Wi-Fi slow as hell. They working on that.
It'll get better.
It was great, man.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you plan on going back out?
I was supposed to, man. We're supposed to go every year, but
Okay.
you know, my partner had a baby. I had my baby. I didn't want to leave her. She was that young. So it's about time now to make my way back out there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully, you know.
You blew my mind with black mannequins.
No, I know it sounds crazy, but just the fact, like, yo, man, a black, this is like normal life. It's not like they're trying to make a statement. Everything is just black, man. This is like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's dope.
I've never felt that comfortable in my whole life at all in America anywhere. Even in my house I grew up in, I felt more comfortable in Africa in a stranger's house because the way the environment felt, man, I didn't feel any anxiety.
Well, yeah, because it's definitely different going to a place where you're the norm.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's not so I mean, like when he just said black mannequins, like it's something that you wouldn't think about, but when you see it, it's like, oh, I've been spending my whole life looking at white mannequins. And I just thought, oh, that's just how it is. Yeah.
Every billboard is black. And you don't notice until you say, hold on, man, every billboard here is black.
Yeah.
Think, you know, just
Black
customary living, man. It's like, wow, man. Wow.
Black Mannequin sounds like a good album cover too. I mean, album title, it does.
Right. Yeah.
Black Mannequins does. But even just speaking to others, like about Africa or whatnot, you say you don't experience the anxiety when you're there. I've explained to others as well, like, I'm like, the anxiety that you feel in a black neighborhood is the anxiety I feel everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. I want to take a pilgrimage to Africa. Yeah. What made you want to even go there?
We were doing a project with some African artists and a curator, and basically the show was called Amnesia Project. And I went with Marlon Hall. And basically the project was, we don't know each other. And so when you have amnesia, it's basically, you have to have that memory first and then lose it. So we're going there with no memory of Africa, but when I got there, everything was actually there. It's in my DNA, it's coded in there. Yeah. I don't have the actual memory, but my body said, this is home. And so the show was like, how can we merge African culture with African American culture and make it make sense? So before I went there, I wasn't sewing at all in my work. And I started sewing because that's my idea of like, when you get a cut on your skin and you get it sewn in, how it merges back together and it heals. And yeah, you have an addition of a mark, but it's still, you know, it's still skin. Now you know, you back to normal in a sense. And so, yeah, man, it was great to connect with those African artists and those African curators and how they thought about the world. And they're just so much smarter than us, but we got that hustle that they're lacking, you know. My driver spoke 7 languages. And he's like, hey, my brother, how many you speak? And I'm like, ooh, boy, I know a little bit of Spanish. But it's the driver knows 7 languages. Imagine the academics, man. Like, they just so brilliant. But we got that hustle. We can go in and make a Chick-fil-A anywhere. Though. I just saw so many ways to enhance life financially there. I was like, man, we merged those two things together. It's unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Okay, okay. That's not bad. So that was you spent that time out in Africa. Well, let's get back to the project here, because this is audio and this is video. Yeah. If you care to explain, it's like, is there going to be another installation of this project that people can go to, or?
Basically, I shot a few music videos. So next week I'm gonna drop a trailer and I'm gonna drop a video, and then I'm just gonna continue that for a little bit. Because I got more music coming out. I have another album I made in San Antonio with Art Pace that's dropping next year. And then I'm doing an album right now with the Cam for the DJ Screw Show for the Slow and Throw. So that'll be like 3 projects based around this idea of having a physical show with this audio. And so I want to just continue this for a while, man, because I feel like I'm in a real great space that nobody is doing. It's very unique, and it's really making me really happy. I can do both.
I love the idea of the vinyl and everything coming out too. It's like you're walking away with, just tangible.
Like
yeah. Hey, you get an art piece. It's tangible. You can hold and listen to.
Absolutely. You can buy 2. I buy one to put on your wall and buy one to listen to. But I will be making a digital version of cards so people can listen to it digitally. But I really like the interaction of the vinyl, man. You got to flip the record over. You got to touch it. You got to read the credits. I want to get back to that really intimate way you interact with records, which is like how I want people to interact with art. So when you buy it digitally, yeah, that's cool to support it that way, but you might not ever really dive into it the way you should when you're on the vinyl. So I'm trying to get people that space now, especially since the world is kind of stopped a bit. They can really absorb a vinyl and like really take their time and listen. I mean,
that is one of those things, man. I think I don't even remember who said it, where they were talking about music is art, but it's an art form that we've given these weird boundaries to. Like, like nobody says, hey, look at that painting, that's worth $5. Like all paintings are now worth $5. But for music, we're like, okay, this single is 99 cents.
Yeah. That's because we gave our power, man. We gave our power to people that monetize us and don't respect our culture.
Exactly.
Like, it's worth 99 cents. I'm saying, like, but it's not. But when you let people run your culture and you sign the labels of people that don't give a fuck about our kids or what we listen to, like, that's what you're gonna get. They don't care. They owning the masters. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kanye don't own your masters, man. I was like, I'm getting hurt, man. When I learned Mary J. Blige had owned no masters, bro, I was man. That's the saddest shit I heard in my life.
Yeah.
And like these people got ownership, man. Like these are basically high-paid slaves. Like, and you gotta keep working, you gotta keep performing.
Yeah. Like,
I know this one want to take I mean, man, Mary J. Blige has such a great work ethic. She never take breaks.
Yeah.
She had no choice. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was by choice. She was a hard worker. No, man, she can't live without going on tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man, we got to get our ownership back. That's part of what this is about too, man. I own all of this shit. I don't care if just 10,000 people buy it. That's all me. That's all. It goes to people I pay independently, and most of them gonna be people of color. So it's like, that's important to me, man. Like, another thing, why I was always afraid of music, man. I didn't want to be owned. I had ideals, and they looked wealthy, but I really wanted to be it, man. So whether it's on a small scale, everything I got, man, I own, man. Like, it might not be the best everything, but it's mine.
But it's yours.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was always your plan, I mean, at least in terms of the art, to definitely go into vinyl, as opposed to just saying, okay, I'm just going to do a digital thing, and I'm also going to do some art.
So impersonal. Like I said, these are art pieces, man. We only made 400 vinyl. So if they're 400, you can't get them no more, man. That's an art piece.
Yeah.
And some come with limited edition prints not signed. They got stickers. You got the catalog with the whole book, all in color. All that costs money, man. But it's also, I want you something you have that's unique that. Also, I'm thinking about the market. I'm thinking about resale value. I also grew up in the sneaker culture and the hype beast and having shoes that are collectible and like which ones are valuable 10 years later and which ones are not. And then how come those are valuable and those are not? I mean, packaging and being thoughtful and how many you make are part of that, thing that makes something valuable. If everybody can have one, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah, and there is something about putting things on vinyl that just add an extra, I don't know, maybe it's because you're holding it and it's tangible. or you know, and I like the fact that vinyl makes you listen to the music. You're not skipping through. Like you just gotta play it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hear whatever this artist wanted in its entirety.
Exactly.
Unless you really want to go about your way and just pick the needle up all the time. But
Yeah.
nobody's doing that. You're just gonna play it, and this is how they wanted you to hear it, and that's just
Exactly.
what it is.
Exactly.
No, it's dope.
I know it's coming back. It's not always the most popular, but I think that it is making a resurgence. People do love vinyl all over the world, and even if I just speaking to that people, that might be my crowd. That's fine with me, man. But I'm not opposed to digital, but I mean, it's kind of impersonal, man.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like when you buy a vinyl, you're like, no, I own this. I supported this, and you know, there are certain artists we talk to where it's like, I appreciate y'all for rocking with my music, but also understand streaming me does not get me the money y'all making it gets. Like I appreciate that portion of a cent that you got me by listening to my song, but buying my album is something. Like, you know what I mean? That's a real big thing.
But that's another way of convincing people that, you know, that these labels are selling popularity to artists instead of money. So somebody said, man, I got 10 million streams, but that's not $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're okay with that. So it's like, wow, man, I'm watching so many people be sold out for fame.
Yeah.
And the real reason of being an artist or a creator. It's not worth it to me, man. It's not, you know, I don't get it, man. What happens when Instagram shuts down one day? Like, these things move on. Trends stop. Like, you just Instagram famous. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
I was watching that Steven Spielberg movie called Player One. And I don't know if you saw the movie, but I feel like we're really heading that way where people want to live in virtual reality. They don't care about having a fake life because real life is so fucking challenging, so hard.
Yeah.
They jump into a system and be whoever they want to be, and they'll be there as long as they can. They'll go to work, come back, and jump right into the system of this fantasy world, man. Like, you know, these photos I see, and not judging, but damn, man, I see like these gorgeous women, and all they do is shoot themselves. I'm like, man, the only thing you see in the world of beauty is yourself at the same angle.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Not a tree, not a flower, not a ditch. So, man, we kind of going towards that direction, man. Like, it's really self-absorbed. You know, it started with the iPhone and iPad. Everything is and open zone. Sure. It's crazy, man.
I'm just and to tack on to what you're saying.
Taking notes. Like, damn, man. Everybody basically a celebrity now, so nobody really gives a fuck about what you're doing because they like, I'm a star too. On everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. Like, I paint. That's great. You're an artist. Cool. Look at my shit. Weird times, man. It's weird times.
You know what? I would say, like, there's that thing, but it's also the positive where I'm like, I just feel like every year our big stars get a little smaller. Like, you don't get the same. It's not the 90s where it's like, oh, this is just the biggest movie. Like, I'm like, now it's really like, did you make a good movie? Because is your art good? That's what I'm more interested in. And I'm like, I'm hoping we're moving towards that direction where it's like, I get it, but it's like, you know, all of us got an iPhone. Some of the stuff I see kids do on TikTok.
If you're a great artist, can you do that? Only certain people can do that. Like, Kendrick Lamar can make an album and disappear for 5 years and come back because he makes great. So you got to be at the top of your game to have a private life. So if you're talented, mediocre, you're in the middle, you got to be on Instagram every day. You got to be posting live videos. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? So just focus on your craft, bro. You have to do that. You just make your craft and have a life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I like when you're talking about ownership too, because ownership also gives you a chance to take a break. And step away.
Good.
I don't have to be like, yo, I gotta drop another album now because I gotta get these streaming numbers up. Where it's like, nah, I sold my records. Like,
I'm good.
I bought them.
Exactly.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Tell us, can you talk about the new projects that you were just getting into? Can you go into any detail on them, or is it still a secret?
Well, it's not secret. It's just I'm waiting for funding. You know, the museum hasn't officially made the announcement, the CAM. So
okay.
I should be doing all this talking now, but I'm pretty confident that things gonna go down. It just makes sense, man. Like, we doing a show about DJ Screw and we don't have any music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And most of the SUC is alive. You know, I'm gonna work with Bub at the Screw Shop and, you know, DJ Red, and like, you know, it's an opportunity to make something new here. And my brother, the R, is working with ESG. They're doing a record together. So I'm getting one of those songs for the record. ESG is making some incredible music, man. Still, he was some new great feeling beats, and he just switched his style up, man. So it's like, beats really help artists, navigate to some new shit. And I was surprised I heard ESG, man. I was like, this guy sounds better than ever. So
ESG is one of those artists where it's like, I feel like, and I hope people realize it. I mean, still to this day, he can rap. Like, he can always rap.
Never lost.
He can really, really, really rap, and he still puts out. He puts out music at the highest quality level.
He got that sauce. So like, it ain't stale. He's still dripping fresh, man. I mean, I think because he's been so consistent and in the streets, making work and collaborating, that he just like a well-oiled machine, man. He don't feel rusty at all. It just feels really great.
And the other thing I always like about him is you see him out. Like, he's out. He talks to the younger artists. He works with the younger, the older. It's just whatever. I feel like with him, it's like, if you can rap, if you can do this music, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So, yeah.
Man.
You got to give ESG his flowers.
Got to, man. Got to. So, yeah, I mean, what else is going on, man? I do got some kind of top secret, but I get to tell you it's going to be at Peggy Park.
Okay.
It's going to be, I designed a basketball court in 3rd Ward. It's going to happen next year. It's going to happen last March with the All-Star McDonald's game, but the COVID happened. So I think this year it's probably going to be bigger, man, because we all been inside so long. It'll be great to get outside. And so we'll see how far we are with the COVID, man. But, the big doctor is saying we won't be clear this like the 4th quarter of next year. So I'm not sure.
So I feel like man, and that's the thing. Everybody's itching to get out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody is itching to get out and do something. So, what are your feelings on when we can finally be out here and get ready? Because I feel like people aren't going to want to go back inside. Like, once we're out, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to everything."
I don't know if people have been in New York, like right after winter, when it's spring the next day and it's like not cold anymore, and then how people are dressed and they're acting. I think we're gonna say that in Houston, man. It's gonna be a whole lot of hopefully sundresses and all this wild. A lot of this. Hopefully it's warm. I wish a warm day. Everybody's hanging out, just no mask. I can feel comfortable shaking a hand and I immediately reaching for hand sanitizer. Man. I don't know, man. We need that human interaction, man. So when it's missing, people start doing wild shit, man. I just like this all this OnlyFans and all this. I think that's all due to like not being able to get outside and do things.
people need some kind of connection. So, and I think people really downplay or people don't realize that the physical connection that we get from people, like like I said, shaking a hand. I said it's so weird now when you meet people in public and you do that weird like, do we shake, do we fist bump, do we do the elbow thing? Like, I don't know. And then as soon as whatever connection you do, you're like, I gotta find some hand sanitizer.
Yeah, immediately.
I got it in June, so I feel like I had the antibodies, so I stopped caring if I got help. I'm just joking. But but I haven't hugged my mom in like shit. I don't know how long, man.
I'm saying.
She just waved at me. I'm like, damn, I want to hug her, man.
Yeah.
Neither have I. I miss hugging my mom because a hug right now is a death wish. It's like putting a hit on somebody.
Yes, man. When I see these cats out in the club sharing hookahs, and I'm like, bro, you might be okay, but you finna kill your aunt, though. Your favorite uncle.
Yeah.
Your uncle hit me, bro. Good point to go out.
Like I still get mail delivered to our mom's house, and it's like she just put it in the garage, and I just gotta open up the garage and walk, and she just wave like, all right.
So strange, man.
And so it's odd. So I'm definitely like looking forward to when we can all just like relax, and you know, hopefully that happens sooner than later.
Well, also this is an experiment to watch how people can't follow the rules. And what I mean by people is specifically white people, and them. Sorry, they got a problem with following the rules. By the
best interview ever.
They can't do something when they feel like how we feel consistently every day. They just snap. Like, bro, you got to wear your mask and wash your hands. Slow up, man. What's the problem here?
I was talking to a guy, it's a white guy, and he was like, I think one of the things is he's like, my people are used to not following any rules. And the truth is, he goes, your people might be used to following rules too much. Because I was literally like, dog, y'all mad about a mask? Like, okay. They're like, nah, this is taking away our freedom. I was like, yeah, nah, it could be worse.
When I was in the car with a white friend, we got pulled over. The way they talked to the cop, I was like, oh yeah, we live in two different worlds.
Oh, bro.
You pulling me over? Hey, I'm not doing shit. I'm like, hey, the cop looking at me like I know it's coming towards me. They just all the issues on me. I'm not doing none of the talking. But I knew then that we live in two different worlds.
Yeah. Two different worlds.
Yeah.
They do not like to be told what to do, no matter what, whatsoever.
But that's the privilege we talk about that you don't realize you have until you got friends of color. You see what they go through, and you can be a little bit more empathetic. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sometimes your friends that are not black might think you exaggerating.
Yeah.
I get pulled over every day. In my 20s, I got pulled over almost every day, bro. But no, I don't know why. I don't know.
Oh, you know why?
I mean, I know why. It's like, I identify, like, was it the car? Was it like every other day, man? Whoop, whoop. Like, wow.
It's like it's a weird combination. Because I tell people, like, as I get older, it gets less, because I was like, oh, I said, am I just looking less threatening now? Or is it, I said, I don't know what it is. Because now it's like, I got kind of like a family car sedan. So I guess y'all don't care no more.
I bought a Honda Pilot for a reason. Because I knew that was the most invisible car on the road.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, I got the baby sitting in the back and now the ring. Like, go ahead, go, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to do all this protection, man, and drive around in comfort, man.
Yeah.
I just have a decent whip now. I be paranoid, bro. I like being invisible on the road, man. I like, hey, man, because the car means nothing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice having a Honda Pilot, bro. I got left alone. I got that flashlight to come, like, oh, yeah, baby seat. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like nothing's happening here. You're free to go. Well, that kind of brings it for like full circle. So we're talking about Friendly Fire. What is it that you want people to walk away with when they view this art and when they experience this album?
I want Friendly Fire to be like a time capsule. So when you play that record, you think about where we were politically, where we were socially, and then the music is that connector to this moment in time. This time where as Black people, we got to deal with a pandemic. We got to deal with politics, and we got to deal with, like, how to navigate life and all this chaos that's added upon what we already dealing with. And so it's a very unique moment. And though the album wasn't made this year, it's so relevant, man. And it's an album. It's an inspirational record, man. You can put it on late at night, whether you type in a paper or writing a memo at work. Making a painting, man. It has interviews on it that are dropping really great gems. It has Afro beat. We have hip hop. It has soul. It has soundscape. So it's a little bit of everything, man. It's kind of brings you in and out of the record. So when you want to pay attention, you can, and then it's enough sounds that you can dive out and maybe have a conversation and jump back into it. But I was just considerate about trying to give everybody I knew in my life something they can have to grab onto into that record. Whether it's my mother, my daughter, my wife, my homies. I mean, so I kind of think about that way. I'm curating like an art show. So I'm thinking where every track goes, what it means, why is it there. Mm-hmm. And the album has some of the best visual artists in Houston that make music. So it has Andrew Brahmatwire, it has Nathaniel Darnay, it has Robert Pruitt, it has Lance Flowers, Yana McLeod, which is Israel McLeod. He's a great painter. His daughter, she's amazing. It has Lovey Olivia, talking about an experience where she got these guns put on her when she was 18 years old because a cop thought she was a male, she's a female, and thought she stole a bike. And so how she had to walk like backwards down the street to the cops. You know, it's like a really crazy story.
Wow.
And I got a guy named Noah Emerson. He's like in his 80s. And he talks about seeing MLK walk over the bridge in Selma and what happened, how his mom had to close the shop down because of the violence. So it's like these cross-generational stories that are happening, but it's so relative. And I also want to make sure I made a good record with good grooves on it, man. So we're trying to give you some gems, some knowledge, some inspiration, and some good music. And so I like to hear feedback what the people think, because I hope that I did that, you know, hope I accomplished that. But, you know, I'm hearing good things. I just want to see how people feel about it.
Yeah, I'm waiting on mine in the mail. I ordered mine, so I was like,
I know I saw that.
So yeah,
I might just drop yours off to you, bro. Just like, you know.
Yo, no, I appreciate it, because I was like, nah, it looks incredible. Just the look And I like people that are making that like an experience. Like this is just what this is. Like just immerse yourself in it. And so like kudos to you for putting that together.
I appreciate it, man. And again, thank you for having the show, man. I appreciate it, fellas. Like this is dope.
Hey, look, man, we appreciate having you on, man.
Yeah. What else? What else happening? Oh, be off? I'm done.
No. You good. You good.
No, somebody said the camera, like, okay, well, I thought y'all hung up on me. Like, all right,
no. That would be so mean.
No, we would never do that. Well, that was fun. Click.
Back to it.
Yeah. Well, we really do appreciate you, Robert. We appreciate you. We appreciate the art that you're putting out for the city. We appreciate you staying in the city. And the thing you said that really resonated with me is sometimes the dope people got to stay in the city and make the city dope.
Yeah, man, we got to stay. It's all right. Just give me things, Also, man, it's a marathon. I used to think about art as a sprint. I had to get to a certain place at a certain age and time, and once you get to a certain age, you realize, man, that shit is ridiculous, man. Like, I'm doing this for my whole life. Mm-hmm. I'm not, and because of the neighborhood I grew up with and the people I lost, I just turned 41 in October. I can't even see myself as a 41-year-old. I didn't even know how to imagine my life. So then after I got sick, I had to reimagine what does my life look like from now on to maybe being 100. Yeah. I couldn't make plans for that properly, man, because I didn't think I would make it. And it's so weird being this Black experience, man. It's like, I'm not even on no gangster shit. I'm a regular, I'm just an artist. I still, imagine what gangsters go through, dog. I mean, I'm in the studio being productive, trying to be a good, civilian. I'm still like wondering, am I gonna make it? I mean, so now that I'm here now, I can think about, retirement and, what I'm gonna make 20 years from now, where I can go and what I can see. It's like I started a new life almost.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
And that's crazy, speaking of that experience, because there are people out there that are like, I don't have a mindset beyond about 4 or 5 years in the future. Like, I don't have the time or the privilege or the opportunity to really think about that. And so that's crazy, and how that affects you. And then you get to a point where you get past that and you're like, now I got to make plans. Like, now I need to like,
I mean, the good ones better than me. They didn't make it. So they didn't make it. My expectations started getting lower and lower. I mean, these guys were, like I say, they're not gangsters either, man. I'm not talking about, I knew people that did amazing things, man. They got taken out by law enforcement. This weird shit, man, that made me feel like, I can't think too far in the future. That's being, I don't know, man, being disrespectful to God in a way too, man. I'm just trying to like this time and take myself. But now at this age now, I feel a little differently. Like the panoramic view kind of opened up now, and I'm like, okay, I can start. It's okay to make plans.
Yeah.
I need to, because now I want them to be okay when I'm not here. I'm tired of doing a GoFundMe for the dude that was balling. He had all the cars to the jury, but he got a GoFundMe when he died. I don't want to be that guy.
And that's dope. You're there too to support her. I mean, she's 8, and you're open to the idea of her being an artist, so she'll get that experience that you didn't even get the chance to get. Because people was like, "Yo, you really trying to do this art thing for real?" And with her, it's like I love the fact that you're like, "Yo, you're a dope art. Like you're better than me." So imagine what you're gonna be when you get to my age.
It's two type of people, man. Some people that got hurt and then like hurt people back in return, or the people that got hurt and then said, "I know what that feels like, so I would never ever do that to get anybody." And I'm just the opposite person. Like the shit I've been through, I make it very intentional to make sure I'm not that kind of person, even though that wasn't intentional.
Yeah,
that's all they knew.
Yeah,
because we know better. We're gonna do better. It's supposed to be generational wealth, and every generation is supposed to get better. I want her to be way better than me. I failed if my legacy is didn't outshine hers. Like, no, that's not the point.
Absolutely.
That's true.
In my opinion, man.
No, that's a great opinion.
Yes. He said it. In my humble opinion. Yes. When you know better, you do better. Yeah. That's good, man. Once again, it's been Robert Hodge with us on In My Humble Opinion. I've been Avery, like a very nice guy. My brother over there, Just Devon. And we rounded it out with Robert Hodge, man. Check him out. He has everything going on. And plus, we're going to be getting his record in the mail.
Yes, you will. I'll drop it off. I'm terrible in the mail. I'm bringing it to your house.
Hey, man. Either way, I'm up for it. I'm looking forward to getting it.
No doubt.
in my humble opinion, where the words aren't jumbled and the opinions aren't humbled, really. Thank you and good night. Bye-bye.